Welcome to our Friday in the kitchen. Today I am really excited because outside here in Toronto we have sun, we have cold, we have snow, and we have wind. Like you can see the snow blowing across the landscape. And I took a few minutes here because one of my dogs didn't want to come in the house, and he's outside like with his paws up because they're so cold, and yet he wouldn't come in. So thankfully he's in now. I said, okay, if you don't come in now, you're going to have to wait at least half an hour. So he came in, he's all safe and warm now, and we're going to make something really nice and nourishing and warm today. I have this big head of cauliflower, and the vegetables are pretty sad looking in the store, a lot of the fresh ones, but cauliflower seems to be pretty good right now. So we're going to make a creamy coconut lentil cauliflower soup, and we're going to use red lentils today. Last week we used the green lentils, so we're going to use those creamy red lentils today in our soup. And we're doing what my favorite, which is the dump and almost like dumping everything into the pot. And that's it. We're making it so easy, almost one step. And the trick for me is to really just let those flavors blend. So I like to let my soup simmer on the stove, get all that nice aroma, especially on a cold winter day. And I make a big pot, and it goes so fast in my house. Last week I had 2 pots of lentil soup, and my daughter said to me, why did you make so much lentil soup? And I said, well, I was doing my demo and everything. It'll go. By Sunday, it was gone. 2 pots like this of soup, and there's only 3 of us in the house, so it's really nourishing and filling. So to do our dump everything in the pot, almost everything today, I have vegetable broth. Now the vegetable broth I have is organic PC, which is a Canadian brand. And the reason I like this is it is organic, but it's also a reasonable price. Some of the organic vegetable broths are like $6-7 for one of these. This is $2.50 regular price. And, we go through a lot of vegetable broth, especially in the winter when we're doing hearty soups. So I'm just going to pour 2 of these in. That's it. That's my starting point. 2 of these. And you can make your own broth as well, if you want. I just feel like I go through so much. It's like I can't keep up. And I'm a busy woman. I think all of us are busy. Here's the deal. This is my new thing. I've been hearing this a lot. Done is better than perfect. And so even though the perfect best way to do it, eating whole food would be to make your own broth, which is easy to do, but keeping up with it is really hard for me. It's better that I have this broth and I have a beautiful soup than I don't make the soup at all. So remember that. Done is better than perfect. Especially when we're looking at our food. It's better that we make something and maybe we have to do a substitute so that it's something that we can manage and we're going to make rather than not making it at all. Let me put this in the recycling here right beside me. So I had two of these, which is roughly around 2 liters or 8 cups or 2 quarts. I'm going to put this on high so it can come to a boil, and we're just going to start throwing stuff in. That's it. We're going to throw stuff in. So let me start with this cauliflower since it's on my thing. And honestly, you can go and get the florets if you want and make it all nice and pretty, but I'm going for the easy route. I've got my cauliflower all over, and my dog that wouldn't come in the house now wants some cauliflower. He loves cauliflower. And I'm literally just going to chop it up. Like I said, you can make it nice and pretty, but it's going to be in the pot simmering away. So you're not going to see those pretty florets as much. So I'm just going to do it the easy, quick way. That's all about easy and quick. And I've got some of the stems in here too, and that's all fine. But if you don't like the stem part, then, make sure you cut around it. I've got a bigger stem here, like this one. You can cut it up, and this is perfectly fine to put in. You don't have to. I might give that to my dog, who is standing right beside me looking for some food. All right, so I'm just throwing this in. Cut it up into pieces, and in we go. And I'm going to use the whole one. It's good just to use the whole one. So I'm just cutting this up. No need to be perfect here. Throw this in. It's one thing about cauliflower, it can be messy, but I don't know, I like it cooked. All right, so there's a couple of stems. I'm going to throw those in. They will be perfectly fine. There's a lot of nutrients in the stems and the skins of our vegetables, so don't be afraid to use them, to have them. And when it's cooked, like this is going to be cooked for a long time, it's, they're really going to be really soft. I'm going to cook my soup for probably an hour or more. You don't have to cook it that long. I think you can get away, once the cauliflower is soft, you can take it off, but I like to really just let those flavors develop. And you can do this in any order that works for you. So I've got my cauliflower in. I have 1.5 sweet potato. I had 3 sweet potatoes and I used 1.5 yesterday. So I have 1.5. If I had 2, I would put 2 in. I've washed these. I'm going to take off the ends. So I washed them, and I'm going to leave the skins on because there's so much nutrients in the skin. Again, done is better than perfect. If it bothers you, or your family isn't going to like it with the skins on, take them off. Peel it first. There's no harm either way. Better to have it than to make it or not eat it at all. So I know with carrots, with my kids, they like it. The carrots with the skins taken off, peeled. This one's hard. And I prefer it with the skins on. But if they're not going to eat it, I do it so that they can eat it. So I always peel them when I'm making a soup for the family. Maybe that would be the thing. They won't eat it if there's carrot skins on, so I can have more for myself. Ooh, I didn't think about that strategy. Okay, so I've got my sweet potato in. I'm going to do an onion here. And now my way to cut an onion, so I've got the end that has the root end on here. I usually cut the other end. Then I cut the onion in half, so I still have the root end on, and I peel the onion. Now I take the outer skin off now. It's easier to do that now. I'm going to take off this outer skin, and I've got my compost here on the side. I'm putting stuff into it. So I have my onion. Going to peel this side too, and you don't have to be very finicky and make sure it's cut perfectly or anything like that. Again, done is better than perfect. That's our motto today. So I'm just going to wipe this off, make sure there's no onion peels on my board, and then I'm going to cut the onion. So I'm going to cut in it crosswise, the lengthwise, I guess it's crosswise, widthwise, and I've got the end here I can take off, and then all I do is come across this side and go around the onion, and when you get to this end where it's hard to keep it on, I have to be careful and just really careful. And you know what you can do at that point is just take them one by one. And it's just a rough chop. Put that in. And do the other side. I've got a little onion skin here. And a little bit of onion. I don't want the onion peel in my soup. That's not good. All right. So I'm just going to cut it lengthwise. So this is my favorite. There's so many ways you can cut an onion. Like, it's many, many ways. This is the way that works the best for me, and it's pretty quick. So you're not sitting there crying all day because of the tears from your onion. Now, add that in. And my broth is starting to come to a boil. Yum. All right. I have lentils, so I'm using red lentils. So I've got my red lentils here. We keep it stocked up. For all our lentils, we keep stocked up in the pantry. So the red lentils are very small. They've been hulled, and they have been split in half. They're very small, so they are going to turn very creamy in the soup, because they're going to cook as they cook. So I've washed this. Now, washing lentils, what you should do, what I do, is I put them in a bowl. This is my favorite lentil washing bowl. Run the water, and you'll see the water will be nice and a very opaque, powdery looking white. And all I do is I keep casting the water off and mixing it up until the water is fairly clear. And with these lentils, these small ones, what I'll do also is use a what do you call it? Oh, I can't think of the name. Strainer, so that the lentils don't go into the sink. This is my washed lentils here. I'm going to add them in. Yum. I got lentils on my hands now, making a mess. And then I'm going to add in, now, if I had garlic, I would add in fresh garlic, a few cloves of fresh garlic that's been minced. I don't have any today, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm going to use powdered garlic instead, garlic powder, not garlic salt, garlic powder. Always think the salt is giving you too much salt, so always buy the powder. Ooh, and it's starting to look beautiful here. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And I'm going to add in my spices now. So I have my garlic powder. And I would add in, for me, I like bold flavors for this, because when you're cooking plant-based, the bold flavors help to accentuate the flavors, because the flavors come from your spices as well as your foods, your vegetables. But I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons in. I'm not gonna be shy here, because I like garlic. Our family likes garlic, and I don't want to underdo it. I have some curry powder as well. Now, with the curry powder, if you're used to curry powder and you like it, then you can go a little bit more. I'm going to put in a tablespoon because I like it very mild. I do not like it. Curry is not something I like bold. I like it to be very mild, and I love the flavor when it's mild. So I'm going to go on the, oh, I can't get in there. I'm going to go with it more on the mild flavor. Let me get my little spoon out. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon, and it'll give me mild flavors. That's about a tablespoon. If you like it bolder, you can do more. And if you're new to curry, do start with a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon. Try it out. Don't overdo it if it's something you're not used to. And I've got some cumin here. I'm going to add in. Here's a way to do it. I didn't want to do this with the curry powder because it's got turmeric in it, and turmeric is can stain very easy. Now, because I have turmeric in my curry powder, I'm going to add black pepper as well. So I'm just going to put a sprinkle of black pepper. I'm not a big black pepper fan, so I'm not going to put too much. If you like black pepper, go ahead. But black pepper activates the curcumin in the curry powder, and we can absorb it much more effectively. As a matter of fact, it's like 2,000% more absorption when we pair turmeric with black pepper. And the ratio is 1 teaspoon of turmeric to a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper to get that absorption. And I out of pink Himalaya salt, so I have some Celtic sea salt here. I'm going to use that as well instead. So I'm going to add a little bit of that for a little bit of flavor. And the Celtic sea salt tastes really strong, but when you put it into like a soup, it'll be milder and less salty than regular salt. So I always have this on hand. And with it being winter and it's like my car is full of snow, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use what I have at home. I'm not going out. Again, done is better than perfect. All right, so perfect timing. My pot has come to a boil. And what's that? Like 15 minutes, you have your soup boiling ready to simmer. So I'm going to turn it down to simmer it. Here, and I'm going to put the lid on, but before I do that, I'm going to see if I can use my webcam to show you. Yes. There's what it looks like. Let it sit so you can see the curry powder. I'm going to get a stand for this. So yeah. So it's boiling away. I'm going to let that simmer for at least an hour. And here's what it looks like done. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not 100% done yet. Let me take it off this. The next step, all right. What we're going to do now, we're going to put the lid on this one. I think I'll switch the pots over. And I've got this on a low. So the last step here is to add in some coconut milk. So I have some coconut milk here. So if you've been following me, you know that I like to use chopped organic coconut milk. I can get it at Costco for a very good price. So I'm just taking off the lid. And I used a tiny bit yesterday. For my taster, but I'm going to I would just add the whole can into my soup. I'm going to add that in. And there's other brands here, but this one is organic and you can get a 6-pack case at Costco for I think $11 or $12, and it's like $5.99 I think in Canada, at least in my area, for 1 can. So it's a great buy to get it at Costco if you have a Costco membership. And then the other thing I'm going to add is a little bit of spinach. Give it a little green. So of course I like to keep things simple. I just bought some organic baby spinach. And I'm just going to add a couple handfuls and it'll wilt very quickly in the soup. We'll let that warm up. And the volume goes down quite a bit once it's wilted. It's like you can hardly see it. So it looks like a lot when you put it in fresh, but once it wilts, it will be very, not a lot. It'll just blend right in. All right. And so you could let that simmer for about 5 minutes if you want, and then you've got a beautiful soup ready to go. All right. Beautiful. So let me get rid of this and show you the soup in my webcam here. So this is the finished product. It's just going to come to a boil. And you can see this spinach is already wilted. It's nice, it's beautiful, fresh green. And this is a hearty lunch for us all. You can see my dining room here. Okay. Let me get my ladle. I don't want to take all the spinach floating at the top. I'm going to get a couple of spoons for this beautiful winter day. I've got this beautiful soup. And I just want to say also that if you have, I think the recipe also calls for coriander, which is one of my favorite spices, but I am out of coriander. So, you know, if you don't have it, that's fine. Just a little bit different flavor, but it's okay. It's all good. So I have my soup. And I brought out this recipe book. I just wanted to give it a shout out because the inspiration for this recipe came from this cookbook. And it's also, my daughter used to make this recipe from here. And she used to say to me, oh, it's so easy and it's so good, Mom, you've got to try it. And I was so glad that I took her advice and tried it. But this Oh She Glows cookbook by Angela Liddon is a really good cookbook. I don't know if you've ever bought cookbooks where you use one or two recipes from the whole book, even though they look good. We have this, you can see, we have tons of recipes. We, especially when we were first going plant-based, we used a lot of recipes from here. It wasn't just one or two. We have tons of recipe inspirations in this book, this particular one, Oh She Glows. I'm pretty sure the cover is different now, but it's still, I'm sure it's still the same book, maybe a new edition. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that book because there's a lot of really great recipes. And yeah, now I have my soup ready to go. Let me get the recipe for you and pop that in the chat. Just doing that right now. Come on. A little slow. Here it comes. All right. Here we go. I popped it in the chat. I'm going to just give you one last peek at the webcam. Here's my soup. Oops. Get it on me. Ready to eat. And so you can see the cauliflower is in little chunks now. So, you know, those stems, you can't even find them in here if that bothers you. But again, done is better than perfect. All right, I don't know if there's any questions for today. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me turn on. It looks good, yeah. Hang on, what happened? There I am. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, Gloria, it is good, I will say. Well, I hope I don't make stuff that I don't like. I only do recipes I like. I had 2 big bowls of this last night for my dinner. Oh my God, I was like in heaven. I was in heaven. It's so good. All right, any questions or comments? I think I have one more request for soup, and it was vegetable soup. And I think I'm gonna make that on the weekend and do a video so I can send that out, and watch for me to send that by email. And next week, I think we'll move on to, well, we're going to have a Valentine's theme. So we'll have a couple of chocolate recipes for Valentine's for sweet. And then I'm going to move on to some casseroles, things that you can make very easy. And I know there was a request for lentil loaf. So we're going to do some more things with lentils as well. I'm so excited. It's like there's so many things. And it's like, oh, it's only once a week. We can't keep up with all the things we can do. So good. All right, yeah, make that and let me know how it goes, if you make it, if you like it, or if you don't like it, that's okay too. All right. Well, I think I will say goodbye to everyone for today.